What if a single mistake could cost you thousands? Hi, this is Enrique. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I will be sharing a personal story about when I didn't have auto insurance or medical insurance, and I had a very bad accident on the freeway. This mistake cost me thousands of dollars, years of personal grief. So I'm going to be going through this story and showing you what I learned and the mistakes I did and how that can help you to avoid mistakes. So this all started when I was 19 years old. I was a college student, but I didn't have a clear understanding of the importance of having insurance. And so I was very naive. I never was educated by my parents on the importance of having insurance. I never had a mentor that was able to give me a clear understanding as to the importance of having auto insurance. And I was under the impression that I was invincible, that I wasn't vulnerable to having a large accident, or I didn't understand the importance of having insurance to be able to shield myself from any future responsibilities or lawsuits. So this all happened when I was going to college, commuting back and forth several times during the week. And this all happened during the summertime. So one day in July, I was coming back from school and I had my nephew with me in the vehicle as well. And the sun was hitting me very hard, and my vision pretty much blacked out on the way back home. I got hypnotized by the sun. And so driving down the freeway, I ended up swerving my vehicle and hitting a semi, an 18-wheeler, on the freeway. And at that moment, I blacked out. And before you know it, we were on the side of the road with my vehicle on the freeway, totaled. So the ambulance was called. We were taken to the hospital for review. And luckily, neither my nephew or I had any substantial injuries. So we were both released within several hours from the hospital. And luckily, my nephew, he did have health insurance. So that was all covered through his health insurance, his visit to the hospital. But unfortunately, I did not have either auto insurance or health insurance. So the medical bills came in weeks later, the hospital bills, and also, unfortunately, my car was financed at the time. I ended up responsible for that loan, even though the vehicle was completely totaled. I had to negotiate with the opposing insurance company that was insuring the semi. All of this caused me to have to pay thousands of dollars over the next several years. Not only did I have to pay my auto loan off, and also having to junk the vehicle afterwards because it was no longer repairable, but I also had to pay off the ambulance bill, and I had to pay off the hospital bill and any other remaining expenses when it came to that. And the insurer for the semi, I had to negotiate with them the amount of damage that they had, and I paid them off in monthly installments. So all of this taught me a real large lesson when it came to not having insurance. So obviously, after this car was totaled, I eventually had to get a new vehicle to be able to get back and forth to school and work. And so going forward, after that incident, I was properly insured after that, because then at that point I knew the importance. I had to learn through this life experience the importance of having insurance. So going forward, I always had insurance after that. I didn't have any more lapses in insurance when it came to auto insurance. And also medical insurance. I made sure I had some sort of medical coverage going forward as well. This is a very, very important life lesson. And now I will know going forward not only to have those types of insurances, but other types of insurances as well. The vulnerability that people can have driving around with no auto insurance, or living life without having a proper health insurance, or even not having the correct insurance for your business or for homeowners insurance can be very detrimental to your finances. If you have a large catastrophe, like I said, whether it be through your business, you could have an employee theft that could cause a financial catastrophe. You could have a home maybe hit by a real large earthquake. Maybe you don't have the right coverage for that, or a flood. If you don't have the right insurance for a flood or theft or any other type of insurance, that can be a real large catastrophe. You may have to put a lot of money out of pocket. Now, there are people out there that can self-insure, but that's very few, far in between. So it's highly recommended, at least from my perspective, for you to try to do your best to be able to insure your assets. Today, I did have homeowners insurance that I had to update, and so that's the reason why I'm bringing you this video, because it just reminded me of the struggles and the life experience that I had to go through to be able to understand how important insurance is in today's world. So you have to make sure that you, at least once a year, review your coverages, because things can happen. If you are in the situation of trying to get life insurance, I highly recommend it. If you have a family that you're currently taking care of, whether it be you or your spouse, I highly recommend you looking into getting life insurance. You can get life insurance for a 20 or 30-year term. I highly recommend you get something like that versus any other type of life insurances like whole or universal. Usually what you do is you pay on a monthly basis. The premiums are a lot cheaper. If you have anything that happens to you or your spouse, then the beneficiaries will get paid out. Usually what I recommend, and you can also talk to your life insurance broker or life insurance agent, is you try to get a life insurance that will pay out enough principal so that your beneficiaries can live off of the interest, or the interest is enough to be able to pay their monthly expenses so that they don't bite into the principal of this policy. If you have car insurance, auto insurance, make sure you have more than the state minimums, because a lot of the times those are very little. And in case of a real bad accident, those are usually not enough to be able to cover most accidents nowadays, especially with the rising inflation. Everything's so expensive when it comes to medical or repairing autos. These past 2-3 years, we've seen a real high inflationary cost when it comes to repairing vehicles. And a lot of the vehicles nowadays, they do require a lot of work, especially since you're dealing with a lot of electronics. And the medical as well. Everything has just gotten way out of control, especially if you have a business as well. Make sure you have higher limits. If you own a home or you own a business, make sure that your limits is higher as well. That'll make sure you have enough coverage in case of a real bad accident. If you have business insurance, make sure you go ahead and you review those limits. Make sure you review certain coverages with your agent. Maybe have a sit down with them for about 20 to 30 minutes and just go over the operations of your business with your agent to make sure that you are properly insured. When it comes to homeowners insurance or renters insurance, make sure that you also take pictures of the assets around your house and hold on to those, because if a catastrophe ever happens or if you ever have a theft, you have pictures of the stuff that was insured in your house or even in your business. And that could be the difference between getting paid out or not, because a lot of these insurance companies, they're very strict as to how they are paying you, right? So if you have these pictures, it makes it a lot easier for you to get paid out on these assets and to be able to prove that you actually did have these assets in your home. So make sure that at least once a year you review the assets that you have. And if you see that you acquired new things, take pictures of them as well. And this will make it a lot easier for your claims. All of this is going to have you have peace of mind, and you'll be able to sleep better at night, be able to focus on other things. Make sure you are proactive and not reactive. You want to make sure that with a lot of these policies that you have the correct beneficiaries on file, because a lot of the times you do have children born on the family, or sometimes you do have disputes amongst family, and sometimes the beneficiaries are on file. You no longer want to have them in there. So always make sure that at least once a year you update, or you want to make sure that the beneficiaries that are on file are the ones that you want there. The last thing you want is for something to happen and for the wrong beneficiaries to get either the life insurance proceeds, or you have information that's outdated as well. So that's very important to make sure you keep that information updated. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like these types of videos. I will continue to provide good content that I think will make you a better person. And we'll go ahead and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.